are injuries popping up in your FPL team left, right and centre, then this is the video for you. I'm going to be going through all the latest injuries for all Premier League players that are, I guess, notable for FPL. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but are notable for FPL because I understand how annoying, how tough it can be to keep up with the injuries. So this video is going to be a one-stop shop to keeping on track with the injuries that are relevant for FPL. Let's get into it.
Yo, it's FPL Root, bringing you the stats, top picks, hot tips, all the league facts. They say Root, but that's all a flow. Subscribe, hit the bell. Welcome to the show.
Good day, mate. Welcome back to the channel. I'm FPL Root and welcome back to another FPL video. So in today's video, we're going to go through some of the biggest injuries that have happened in the Premier League over the last week or so. Some notable ones of a lot of players that are really high owned for FPL. And to be honest, the biggest injury probably to note is Dominic Solanke. So he did end up missing the Everton game in game week 2. We knew that before the deadline, though, so there was opportunity to make a transfer, but there is a bit of an update as well. Ange Postecoglou has said that he is aiming to kind of be back for the Arsenal game, so that does mean he will miss the Newcastle away game in game week 3, which for owners, that could mean, if you haven't already sold him, it probably means you should be selling him. He's 7.5 million and just over 17.3% owned now, and to be honest, that's going to be dropping closer to the game week 3 deadline. If you are looking for Solanke replacement, you should definitely check out my transfer tips video. I'll leave that somewhere in the description for you to check out. But other than that, Solanke will probably miss game week 3 and aiming to be back for game week 4, which is against Arsenal at home. So in terms of FPL, I probably wouldn't be keeping him. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think Solanke will be back for the Arsenal game? I think he'll start on the bench, to be honest with you. So next up, we've got a player that actually did miss game week 2. It is Phil Foden. So he missed the Ipswich at home game for Manchester City. He's now 9.5 million and he's just over 15% owned. And a lot of managers, to be honest, are taking him out of their teams. However, his missing the game wasn't due to an injury, it was due to an illness, so he should be back for game week 3. It was a virus and illness, so for me I can definitely see him being back for game week 3. He's not like he's injured or has to get over injury. I think a week is probably enough to get over or something like that, and I can see him back for game week 3. So those managers that are taking him out, I'd probably hold, to be honest. I think it's obviously so annoying that he has missed that Ipswich at home game, because what a fixture that would have been for him. They scored 4 goals. Obviously, I'm sure he would have been amongst them goals if he did play. However, he should be back for that West Ham away game in game week 3. Even if he's not, there's an international break where he will get over it and probably be back for game week 4. So for me, I think Foden is a hold. He's going to be back for game week 3, I feel like. I think there's a high chance that he will be back, and I think he will be back into the starting 11 as well. Let me know if you're keeping Phil Foden, if you are owning him, and we'll get into the next player. Next up, I did want to talk about a very popular FPL option over the last few years. It is Pervis Estupiñán. He is 5 million and he's obviously 0% owned because he started the season injured. However, it has been reported that he is now back in training. So he's back, he's fit, he's just obviously lacking match fitness. So he's 50% in terms of FPL chance of playing because he is lacking that match fitness. But for me, I wouldn't be stressing, to be honest, because he has got Arsenal away next and you're not going to want to bring him in for that. But after that, potentially you could see him kind of be back, because after the Arsenal away game, there is an international break. So he will have a chance to kind of regain his fitness during that, hopefully. Potentially he might go off to play for his country if he is fit enough. I can't see it after coming off an injury, but potentially. But after that, they've got Ipswich at home, Forest at home, Chelsea, and then some tough games, but especially that Ipswich at home and Forest at home game after the international break could be the perfect chance to bring in someone like Pervis Estupiñán. The good news is, like I said, he is back in training. Barco, who we thought was going to take his place while he was injured, has now gone. He's now gone on loan to Seville, so there's not really, I don't want to be disrespectful to the player that has taken his place now, but he's not really, I guess, has that much competition on that left side, he's going to come straight back in, I feel like, especially with how attacking he is, how good he is going forward. I think he was going to do so well in this Brighton team under the new manager. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Are you going to bring him in for game week 4 when he's got Ipswich at home and then Forest at home? So next up is Rasmus Højlund, the Manchester United forward. He is now 6.9 million. He has dropped in price, and obviously he didn't start the season because of his injury. He is expected back though around, I'd say, game week 4, obviously after the international break. Whether he comes straight back in is another question. Obviously, Man United do have Liverpool at home next, so it doesn't even really matter because I wouldn't be bringing in probably a Man United player ahead of that Liverpool game. However, there is an opportunity for someone like Joshua Zirkzee to be an FPL option. He's 7.1 million and he's 4.8% owned. He hasn't started a game yet, which is a little bit worrying considering Højlund is out and he's going to be out for at least the next game week or 2. He came on at half time against Brighton, and to be honest, didn't really do much. For me, I think they have to start a striker. I know Zirkzee's not that number 9. He's more of, I guess, a 9.5, if you want to call it, potentially a number 10 or even a winger. But I think with Højlund now missing at least the next game, potentially the game after, I think Zirkzee deserves a start, to be honest with you. He came off the bench against Fulham and got the winner, finished on 8 points. And I think Højlund's injury can actually mean that Zirkzee does start the next game against Liverpool. However, I wouldn't be bringing in anyone against Liverpool. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think Højlund will come back in and gain his number 9 spot back? I probably do think so, to be honest with you, but I think Zirkzee should be given a chance. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. So next up, I did want to mention Patson Daka. So he's going to be missing up until November, to be honest. And although he probably isn't, I guess, a FPL option, he is kind of allowing for another FPL option to be a little bit more nailed. So he is actually 5 million himself, and for some reason is 0.2% owned. But it's not him I really want to talk about. It's the fact that he does make, I feel like, Jamie Vardy that more nailed. Jamie Vardy is now 5.6 million. He's nearly 6% owned, and for me, I actually don't mind him as an FPL option for that price point. You know he's going to be starting for Villa now that Daka is out. Whether he finishes the game is another story, because he did come off after 78 minutes against Spurs and then 70 minutes against Fulham. However, he's going to be starting the game. He's going to be on pens while he's on the pitch. And yes, Leicester's fixtures are not amazing, but they are pretty good, I'd say. They've got a home game against Villa in game week 3, Palace away in game week 4, Everton at home in game week 5, then Arsenal away, then Bournemouth at home, Southampton away, Forest at home, Ipswich away. So some really, really nice games apart from that Arsenal away game. And it does look like he is now nailed. However, we've also got Jordan Ayew there. So he only came off the bench both them times, but it does make him, I guess, a little bit of a better option at 5.4 million. So he has dropped in price. For me, though, I just can't see a world where Jamie Vardy doesn't start up front for Aston Villa if he is fit. However, if there is a point maybe where Vardy does get a bit tired or Vardy does pick up an injury, Jordan Ayew could be a very nice option as well. Let me know if you're bringing in Jamie Vardy ahead of game week 3, and we'll get on to the next player. So next up, I did want to talk about Rodri. So he's not technically injured. I think he's more, I guess, tired. I know he did get a hamstring injury in that final against England where he did come off, and he is technically flagged for a hamstring injury, but I think a part of that is the fact that he has played a lot of football. He's still only 25% chance of play in the next game, but I feel like there is a potential chance. Whether that is going to happen, I don't think so, to be totally honest with you. He's kind of said to be back by the next game, but yeah, I just can't see them rushing him back. I think the fact that he did play a lot of minutes last season, he obviously got all the way to the final of the Euros. I think Pep's going to want to keep him off. And I think, to be honest, the aim for Pep is, can't read Pep's mind by any chance, but I think the aim for Pep is to get him back for game week 5 at that Arsenal at home fixture. I think potentially we could see Rodri come off the bench, potentially in game week 3 or game week 4. And then be ready to start that Arsenal at home fixture, because it is a massive game for Manchester City. Yes, it's still early in the season, but beating Arsenal this early on, and it's at home. Yeah, they're going to want to do that and kind of stamp their mark on the Premier League. But Rodri being back for Manchester City is just going to make them even better than they already are. And we know how crucial he is. We know he doesn't lose when he plays. I think they lost one game potentially when he played. So Rodri is going to be massive for Manchester City. As an FPL option himself, I actually don't mind him. He's now 6.4 million, so he's dropped a point million. Last season he got 8 goals, 10 assists, which is massive for a defensive midfielder. However, at that price point, I think they're better options. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Smash a like on this video. It does help me out a lot. And yeah, check out my channel memberships. I've just launched them. You can get them for really, really cheap as well, or you can go all the way to some of the premium tiers where you do end up getting a free FPL Roo shirt when it is released. And I'll catch you in the next one.